77 live strategies and 257% in under 1 year. And I made almost every single beginner mistake first. So if you're starting algo trading from scratch, this video will save you serious time and money. I'm going to walk through the exact 4-step framework I follow if I was starting today with build, test, break, and combine. Before we jump into the build stage, I'm going to talk about what I don't do. So what I don't do is go off on the internet and buy some random expert advisor online with an amazing backtest. That's why I'm starting here with build. And also with the build stage, I am not testing it or building it in a MetaTrader. And we'll talk to the reasons why I don't do it in MetaTrader in a minute. First, let's talk about the actual build process, building a strategy from scratch. Now, it depends on your background and what kind of experience you have, because this can be highly experience oriented. So if you already have over 2 years of building strategies from scratch, whether it's doing it manually or with other methods, if you already have the experience, you already know which indicators worked well together, which timeframes work, which assets work, then building is not a problem. However, what if you don't have that experience? So when I first started, because I don't have any background as a manual discretionary trader, I wanted to jump straight into algorithmic trading. So for me, my problem is I didn't have that manual experience. So I didn't know what indicators would work well, what timeframes would work well, what assets. Do I use stop losses, or if I should just use trailing stops? So because I didn't have that experience already, I was kind of stuck. So I did some research and I discovered a software called Strategy Quant, and that's mainly what I use for my algorithmic development. And the reason I do this, even though I am a programmer, I can program in both MQL4 and MQL5, is because when I took a look at what is underlying a strategy. So this is something I wrote together quite recently after analysis of thousands and thousands of different strategies. So a lot of people just think a strategy involves an entry and an exit criteria, which is not actually the case. It is a lot more complicated than that. For example, with an entry, you are entering based on a signal like the moving average crossover or something like that. And then next you've got the order type. Are you going to order straight away in the market, or place a stop order or a limit order? And with stop and limit orders, where are you going to place it? Is it going to be based off an indicator level, or an indicator level plus another indicator? So you're not trying to trade at the same levels as everybody else. And these have an expiry date. So how long is your limit order, your pending order, going to be? That's just for the strategy entries. We haven't even looked at the strategy exits yet, which you can see by the number of boxes here is way much more complicated, which is why I decided to go down the strategy quant software path, because building a strategy from scratch, again, requires experience. And if you don't have that, it can be a little bit tricky for you. So Strategy Quant has 3, 4 main ways you can build it. So there's the genetic builder, which will build strategies for you, and the random generator, which will just randomly mash up different blocks and put them together and see if it can try to create a profitable trading strategy for you, which sometimes honestly comes up with nonsense, but we'll get into that later. The other way is to use a strategy template. So here is exactly the same build blocks before, but I've taken out some of them. For example, when you use a strategy template, especially within Strategy Quant, for example, here you don't have market orders, you don't have limit orders. So I've already taken them out. And for example, if I was to build a breakout, then I would use stop orders, I would have an expiry date, and I would enter based on an indicator plus another indicator. So I'm not entering at the same place as everybody else. And I would have a signal. With exits, because I don't know what works well, I would let the software choose from all the possible different building blocks there are. And after you've built your strategy, the next step is to test it. But before we jump into the test step, we do need to understand data, especially how much data you want. So let's say you have 10 years of data. In the pink here is the build. So if you used up all the 10 years of data you have, that's historical data, and you built your profitable strategy on this, and then you took that strategy and tried to trade it live for 1 year. I did a study of 63,499 strategies, and of all those strategies, just using all the data you have, I found out the success rate, the profitability for the 1 year trading was 32.6%, which is pretty low. Now here, we're not doing any fancy robustness testing. We're just building it and then taking the strategy and trading it live, and the success rate is pretty low. But I found, based on my study of 63,000 strategies, if you split it in half, just going 50% build and 50% to retest and see if those strategies are still profitable, and only if they're profitable in this green few years, and then you take it for live trading, then we're seeing an increase to 35.56% of strategies are profitable. And what if you go another level? What if you only used a tiny portion of your data for the build, and then you used a lot of it for the out of sample testing? Then I saw the profitability of all these strategies jump to 39%. So from 32% up to 39%, that is a 7% improvement. And we haven't even done anything else. We've just tweaked how much data we're using for the build and we're using for the test. Which brings us to the next step, which is testing of our strategy. And this is pretty straightforward. You just take your strategy and you retest it on out of sample data that I mentioned before, using the same management technique. So after it has passed the out of sample testing and it is profitable in this period, next we want to try to break our strategy. The fancy term for this is robustness testing, and there's a lot of different types, a lot of different flavors, but I'm going to go through one of them. So let's say you have a strategy that you've already built, you've already tested it, and this is, let's say it's got a trend following strategy, which is not profitable all the time, which is a good thing because you have short periods of profitability, and then you have long periods of stagnation and drawdown, short period of profitability, another long period of stagnation, and then profitability again. So this strategy is using the RSI and the ADX indicator, the RSI value of 3 and the ADX of 20. Great. So how we would break this strategy, so let's say we went with the RSI value of 2 and with the ADX value of 20. So instead of this equity curve, our new equity curve might look like this. Slightly different, slightly shorter drawdown periods, slightly earlier profitable periods, but overall it is slightly less profitable than your current strategies. But that's okay. It's still similar, close enough to your current strategy. And if we continue to tweak these settings a little bit on either side, if let's say we go RSI value of 4 and an ADX value of 22, your new strategy curve might look a little bit more profitable. So this is what I do instead of optimization. A lot of people, what they will do is they will try to find the best settings over a period of a number of years, and then they will go with and pick the very best settings up here. That's not what I want. When I break a strategy, when I try to break the strategy, I'm looking for values on either side of RSI 3 and ADX of 20 that is still profitable. Now, let's say you, when you tweak your strategy, instead of being up the top here, your strategy starts looking like this. So this is a failed test of the robustness tests. And this, if you see this kind of chart, that would mean that your strategy is not robust and it has failed the break test. So you want to see a whole bunch of squiggly lines up the top, similar and close by your original equity curve. So this is one of the reasons why I don't why I don't test on MetaTrader, because This process is very hard and very time consuming and very slow. So MetaTrader doesn't allow this to be done intuitively and natively. You can do it manually, but you will have to rerun the test like hundreds of times and then somehow get all those equity curves combined together. Whereas Strategy Quant, the software I use, it allows you to say, okay, well, I want to go up and down, say 20, 30%, and I want you to randomize the values, and I want you to run it 5, 10, 50 times, and it will create this strategy equity curves for you, so you don't have to sit there and spend hours and hours doing manual repetitive tasks. By the way, I'm trading 30 strategies over a couple of Darwinex Zero accounts, which are currently up 10.52% on my CFDs account and 10.41% on my futures account. The CFD account started with 100K and the futures account started at 1 million. And currently I am in the silver stage, where so far I've received 120K in allocation across my accounts. Actually, you can get up to 375K in the silver stage. With the other stages like gold, you can get up to 500K in a single allocation, and these different allocation funding methods can stack, so you can get boosters, silver, gold, and investor capital all in the one account. I've also received multiple payouts from my trading performance, so if you want to join up, you can use the code LISA for a 20% discount. Finally, if your strategy holds up trying to be broken and it still passes, the last bit is you grab a whole bunch of these strategies and you combine them, because you'll notice before that my equity curve, when I drew it, I purposely had these flat periods. I purposely had stagnation periods because markets will trend, say 25% of the time. Most of the time it mean reverts. So I can't expect a trading strategy to be profitable all the time. So you need to have these drawdown periods, which is fine because for when you combine them in a portfolio, so let's say you have this profitable period, you have a long stagnation period, profitable period, and a long stagnation period. This equity curve doesn't look that great. But if this is a trending strategy, and then you've got a mean reversion strategy where during this profitable period for this strategy, the mean reversion strategy will lose money. And then during the mean reversion period, the mean reversion strategy will make money. So when you combine these strategies together, your overall portfolio, especially when you have more than 5 to 20 strategies, this is where you benefit from the combination of multiple strategies combined. When you get to 20 plus, there are diminishing returns, but between 5 to 20 is the sweet spot for combining your strategies together in a portfolio to get lower drawdowns and more profits. This combined step is the 4th step in this process, and out of all the different steps, I spend the most amount of time in the 3rd step with robustness testing, where I try to break my strategies. So if you want to see more about that, watch this video next, where I talk about the different robustness tests and what exactly they are.